Good evening and welcome to Motivational Monday live from my home this evening. I wish you were here. So I see that you are still somehow afraid to come online with me, or maybe it's not afraid. Maybe it's the busyness of life that keeps you from showing up and joining me on this conversation. Whatever it is, I hope you'll reconsider in the future and come and have a conversation with me, because that's what Motivational Monday was designed to be about, is how can I support you in getting through the week? Because historically for me, Monday was always a day full of anxiety. I take the weekends to relax and enjoy, and then by Sunday night, I'm in a panic and wondering, oh my gosh, how am I going to get everything done this week? And then Monday was always very stressful. And slowly through the week, I would shift through it. Now I avoid playing that game altogether, and I am able to start Mondays with fabulous energy. And this particular Monday, even more on top of fabulous energy, because we just completed the Renew Women's Retreat this last weekend. It's an amazing, amazing event, all designed about women supporting women and coming together to escape our usual stressful, chaotic lives, to step away from it all and be together for a weekend in a quiet, serene place. This year, and the second year in a row, we've held it at Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Center. And if you've listened before, you've probably heard some of that conversation leading up to it. But now the weekend is complete, and it was amazing. It was so peaceful, even for me as a coordinator, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I have said to my team in the past that, wow, you all get to have this great weekend, and I'm coordinating it all, and so I don't feel relaxed. But this time, I did. And you know why? Because I just let it be what it was. I let it flow in its right and perfect timing. I didn't panic about anything. I mean, I had a meeting on Friday morning that I probably in the future would have skipped. But I did that meeting, and then I had to drive down to Lanesboro, which is about an hour drive for people who are listening that live elsewhere than Minnesota. And I got there a little bit later than I wanted. And I have to set up the Renew display. I have to set up my own people display. I need to set up the AV equipment. I need to get all my gear moved into my room, my personal belongings, all those things. And registration was supposed to open at noon. And I'm like, you know what? That is not going to happen. And so it was 12:30 before registration actually opened, and no one cared. And all the members of my committee who came and set up their tables and their things and got in their rooms jumped in and did whatever needed to be done. And so some helped put bags together and name tags together and brought in the food supplies and whatever, and people just jumped in. They never hesitated. They never whined. They never asked questions. They just were like, what next? And if they saw something, they did it without even asking me. It was so fabulous. The true epitome of the meaning of women supporting women. That's what we were doing in that day, getting ready to set up for the retreat. Renew stands for rediscovering, educating, networking, empowering women. And that is exactly what happened. Individuals rediscovering themselves, feeling empowered by what they did throughout the weekend, by other women, feeling supported by other women, and of course, networking just happens, when you're together, that just happens, We had 22 women who actually made it. We had a little over 30 registered, and as the universe would have it, and different acts of fate, stop, not that word, I don't like that word, different acts of influence into people's lives and what mattered to them most and what they needed to take care of. Some were unable to attend, and that's okay. I want to send special blessings out to my friend Lori Caldwell, who is one of our sponsors with Digital Design. And unfortunately, she ended up in the hospital for the weekend, but I talked to her today, and she's doing better. But those things happen. Those things happen. And we spent many of times loving and supporting those who were unable to make it as much as we loved and support the people who did make it and attend the conference. And so for this evening's session on Motivational Monday, I wanted to share some of the tips that came out from the weekend. So if you were one of those people who said, wow, that looks really great, I wanted to come, was unable to for one reason or another, or one excuse or another, as it might be, because we do that, then I want to share with you some of the great things that happened and hope that you'll reconsider and come with us in the future, because it is an amazing, amazing retreat. So we started out, of course, with the passion test on Friday and did that 3-hour workshop on the passion test and helped people find their top 5 passions. You know all about that. I talk about it all the time. Okay? Then they were there actually live getting that, which normally, by the way, is a $297 investment for a personal 2 1-hour sessions, and they paid $297 for the whole weekend to be with this group of fabulous women and learn everything that they learned. So it's a really, really great deal for you to consider in the future. And you get your top 5 passions, you get direction on your life's purpose, you get clarity about where you're going in the future and what you want to create in your life, and you get tools to stay on track with that, right? You've heard that all before. So we do that first in the first 3 hours, and some people, because of work, those JOBs, right, were unable to get there for that session, unfortunately. And then we wanted to wait until some of them were able to arrive before we went and did a roundtable introduction of who all was there and who we were. And then we do this thing that's called threading the beads. It's making the connection. And we use a ball of yarn and we throw it to one another and create this beautiful web of connection. And we talk about who we are. And you got to be there. You got to go to know how meaningful that is for people to share from their heart who I am. Who am I? And how do I contribute in this world? What are my gifts? It was a beautiful session. While we were waiting for people to make sure we were being inclusive of all of that, I was filling some time. And I said, do you want to hear a story? And I told them the whole story about what's been happening with the retreat center. Now, if you've been listening to me, you've heard much of that story. So I'm going to avoid repeating that tonight. But it was a fabulous experience to share with that group of 22 women what was happening and all the blessings that have been bestowed upon me in this journey of purchasing the retreat center. And it really laid the groundwork that great things can happen when you set your mind to it. When you know that you know that you know it is yours to have, it is your purpose, it is your calling, it comes in, flows. It's like, bring it on. What more do you have for me? I'm ready. The key language that was given to me by a mentor recently. I am ready. I am ready to accept what you are willing to give me. I am ready to accept the calling that is mine. I am ready to accept my life's purpose and live it full out as a divine, dynamic, spiritual teacher. That is who I am. In this retreat, more than any others in the last 5 years, I poured out my divine spirituality, my connection to God, Spirit, Holy Spirit. I shared the prayer of St. Francis. I shared, wow, all the things have been happening for me. And I will continue to do that because I am stepping in to my authentic, courageous self in full integrity for who I am. And that's what the Passion Test is asking of people to do. Learn it, know it, understand who you are, and step into it in full integrity and have the courage to live that full out. So I really felt like I did that this weekend, and I hope that others saw that as well. And then I saw many other women step into their full, authentic selves, full of integrity, with courage. So our first speaker on Saturday morning was Erin Dietz, and Erin, oh my gosh, 5 years ago when we started this and she was a part of it, very introverted, wanted to avoid talking in public and in big groups. And it was 2 years ago now that she ran to the back of the room during the retreat and said, "Man, I want to do what you're doing. I want to be a passion test facilitator. I want to speak in front of groups. I want to do those things." And she has become a facilitator. She has been doing that and speaking in public. She's sharing the message with her clients. And then she went to the retreat. She spoke to all of us and shared her wisdom, which perfectly flowed from the wisdom of the Passion Test, right? She did something different. She focused on something called our reticular activation system, which sits at the base of the top of your spine, the base of your skull, in there. And the reticular activation system holds all of our memories, conscious and non-conscious. And really focusing on the non-conscious, which is, I'm going to fail to remember the statistics, but it's huge. Like, our non-conscious is like 80% of our recollection. Let me see if I had it in my notes. Oh, goodness. I failed to write that down. Anyway, our non-conscious brain is operating at 400 billion bits per second. You might have heard me say that before. That is from the Money and Life Freedom. This is fact. This is out there. Erin found it again, and she was showing us that this non-conscious brain is operating at 400 billion bits per second with the memories that it has stored from all of our lifetimes. All of our lifetimes. And how we have perceived the world, how we have been treated in the world. And so if in our non-conscious brain we go, I don't have enough money, then guess what? We're looking for evidence that we don't have enough money. And so we need to change what the RAS, Reticular Activation System, is looking for. It's looking for proof that I have enough money. I am abundantly wealthy. I am infinitely abundant. And continue to retrain it. However old you are right now, it's been being trained on that negative thought that's happening at 400 billion bits per second, that I am not enough, I don't have enough money, whatever those comments are that are controlling what you're attracting into your life. We need to consciously retrain it. This will not happen overnight. This is not a trigger just because she said that this weekend. This is a practice of retraining my brain, on how I want it to think and how I want it to look at the universe and what is the evidence it's looking for to support the new messaging, right? I am abundant. And every time I find a coin, I find a dollar bill, someone pays me something, I shift how I think about it. I am abundantly wealthy. I am attracting money into my life. I have money in my life, and I am multiplying it every day. Okay? Just an example. And really, in these moments, I mean, she spoke for an hour. so much more to help you fully understand what she just said. And I have 7 speakers to share with you. So I'm going to move on. She gave us 5 steps. I'm going to have to bring her on. I'm going to bring her on the call. And we're going to do that. I love this idea. I'm going to bring all the speakers that were at the Renew Women's Retreat onto this call in order to share with you the wisdom that they shared with us in their presentations. And we can do that in our 30-minute sessions. But, you know, I really would love you all to be here, to have a conversation and really absorb it. So if you're out there listening, really let's try and figure out the right time on Monday nights that we can all be on this call. So we're at 7 tonight because I had a board meeting on the nonprofit that I am the chair of earlier tonight. And I normally do 6, and sometimes I've done 6:30, and it's bounced around. Please message me on Facebook. You getting this through Facebook? You can message me on Facebook and say, Luann, I want it to be at a certain time zone, what have you. Let me know what your time zone is. That would be helpful. I really want to get more people to come in and call in on the message. Okay, now I'm trying to reading my little program here. So that was Erin. Oh, next we heard about eating green. And really the title of the presentation was, No one's perfect. No one's perfect, okay? We want to strive to eat organic, green, plant-based diet, okay? And you will have days where that will not happen. You will have times, events, celebrations where you will skip that. But if you can do it 90% of the time, 80% of the time, any percent better than you're doing it now, you will improve your health and you'll improve your lifestyle. I've been on this journey before Denise, our health coach, Denise, the health coach, spoke at the event. I've been on this journey attempting to do this myself throughout this year. I've been on 2 90-day programs, and I have effectively shifted my palate. I don't want some of the things I used to have before. I'm unable to eat the cream-based pasta sauces I had before and I lived on for years, and I love making. My family loves them, and my nieces and nephews still ask for them. If I eat that now, I feel like crap. And so I choose no longer to do that. I lived that, it was fun, it was great, and now I choose to live this way. And so, like the passion test, it's always about making a choice of how you choose to live. And what I loved about Denise's presentation is there's no criticism, there's no hard line, do this or else kind of thing. It's here's the way to shift. She gave us a list of substitute ingredients. So if you used to use mayonnaise, what would you substitute for that now? If you choose butter, what would you substitute for that now, which is often olive oil. And you can buy an olive oil that is cold pressed and buttery flavored, if you're not flavored, because they don't put anything flavored. So creamy, buttery consistency. I feel to be able to describe it any better, but that's what I use. And I don't miss butter anymore, you know? Bread once in a while still catches me up, but I'm trying to be gluten-free. There's lots of gluten-free options out there. Gluten just causes inflammation in my body. And so, no, we'll never be perfect. You know, maybe some people will, not me. You know, but if I can do it more 90% of the time in my daily life, then when I choose to have something like that as a treat, quote unquote, so be it. All right? And this program that I'm in says, stop watching the scale. The scale is only one measurement of how healthy we are. You know, monitor the other things. Inches. Because you can be heavier with more muscle mass and have a stronger body, a stronger physique, and still weigh the same with heavier muscle mass in your body. So I highly encourage you to look up Denise, the health coach. She's got a great program going. She's very helpful. Again, not hardline, not critical, just how can I help you improve a little bit at a time on what, is a healthier lifestyle for you. It was awesome. She also does recipe and menu planning. That could really help a lot of individuals out. Then for a few hours, we went and we did activities outdoors. We had archery, some women did, and then some of us went on the rope course. And so great that in Minnesota on November 5th, that we had a nice day. It was 70 degrees. All the leaves were falling, and here we are out on this high wire ropes course. Call it ropes, but it's really wire. But it's like walking on ropes. It felt like it was a tight rope, high wire rope, whatever. High wire act in the circus. Yeah, I was walking on cords like that. Very scary, very empowering to have accomplished it and completed it. I have one young woman who's been with us for 5 years. She historically has had a significant weight problem, and that has significantly damaged her health. And last year, she had a surgical procedure that I fail to recall. It's not the band, but a surgical procedure to change her stomach so that she eats less. She has lost 87.5 pounds. She looks fantastic. And she got on that course. And she was like, I feel so great that I did it. I would have never considered it before because of my weight, even though there's no weight limit on the course. But because I felt more confident, because I lost the weight, I did it. And I feel so empowered that I completed it successfully, as we all did. And I'm telling you, it was scary for me. It was scary for me. I was like, wow, what did I get myself into offering this to these ladies? But it was amazing when you got to the end, and then we got to zip line down off the course. And so you can do it, ladies. You can do it. You just have to step forward in faith and say, I can. In the afternoon after that wonderful experience, we heard from Alexis, and she talked about our skin condition. And Alexis was a young woman who grew up with horrible acne problems, and you would never know it to see her today. She now uses a dermatology product called Rodan & Fields, and she sells that. Yeah, that's her business. But because it saved her life, it saved her self-image. She was able to get rid of this adult acne on her face. I mean, she started as a teenager with acne, but it just kept persistently bothering her. And she calls it a pizza face. And I think from that language, we all know what that is, unfortunately, derogatorily used to torment children before in life. And that's what I'm sure she suffered with then. And now this product helped her heal her skin. And in her presentation, she never really focused on the product, but on the contents of the product that make it better and what you want to look for in your products. And I'm sorry, but I am unable to repeat all that for you. If you have an interest in that, you need to let me know and I'll hook you up with Alexis. The reality is we went from passion to visioning and changing our reticular activation system, to thinking about our diet and being more clear about that, and how our diet impacts our skin, how our skin, our self-image affects our internal beliefs. Our internal beliefs manifest into our external beliefs, which brings us to our Sunday morning presentation on eliminating toxins from your diet from Dr. Liz Raymond, who is a chiropractor, but all she focused on was eliminating the negative thoughts in your head and the limiting beliefs that are toxic in your life. And then the external toxins that come into our life. And some of those, the fluoride in our water, in our shower, unable, unless you go live in the woods and pump your water out of the lake, you're going to get that in your skin. It goes back to the skin impact that Alexis talked about, right? And all these chemicals coming in around us are impacting our skin, our health, okay? So it's hard to eliminate those pollutants, both in our house and outside of, no, let me back up. The water that comes into our house, the air we can seal in our house by shutting our windows, are pollutants that magnify, okay? The air outside is actually better for us than the air inside our own home because we use chemical substances in our home to clean them, and therefore we create more higher toxicity in our house. So then we talk about all natural cleaning products in our home. I use Melaleuca products, Norwex products, another great company, two to look into. Not selling them to you, just telling you, look into Melaleuca, look into Norwex. Liz gave us a list of all these natural ingredients that we have access to, such as essential oils. I do sell those if you're interested in more information. Love to talk to you about that, and how we use those all natural products to clean our house instead of the chemicals that Johnson & Johnson and other companies are selling to us, okay? So skip the grocery store chemical products, skip, the Walmarts and Shopko's and Kmart products that are selling to us, and look into higher quality products. What I know from my experience with those is I use a lot less of the product. So yeah, it looks expensive up front, but I use a lot less. So it lasts for months more than the others. Same is true with my fruits and vegetables that I buy at a food co-op, that I buy organically, that I buy at farmers markets because they're cheaper than the co-ops, but still, sometimes you look at those products and think, oh, they're so much more expensive. I have kale in my refrigerator right now that is probably a week old from the co-op, and it's just as crisp and fresh as it was the day I bought it. I need to make my kale chips tonight. When I buy kale at a regular grocery store, it does last more than a couple of days. It only lasts a couple of days. And then it melts and it wilts because it's got all these chemicals on it. So I'm a little over the top on this. I'm probably going long tonight on tonight's discussion. But these are all the tips and tricks we learn, tips, and wise advice that we learn at these retreats, that we share with each other. Women that are gifted and have an opportunity to share the knowledge that they have. I am only one person. There is no way I can absorb all of this knowledge myself and share it with the world. So my purpose, my specific direction is to help you find joy, to help you find your passions and live your authentic self and be in joy in that. And then all these other women have gifts and knowledge to share with the world that add value to that original message of mine. And that's what we do at the Renew Women's Retreat. So I hope that you'll join us in the future for that. Every year in November. Next year, I hope it will be, no, let's reframe that. Next year, I intend for it to be at the Holy Spirit Retreat Center that I am purchasing. And every year after that, that's where we'll be. If you want a glimpse of what that looks like and what the Holy Spirit Retreat Center is and means to me, I've added a retreat this year for December 9th through the 11th. December 9th through the 11th, we'll be at the Holy Spirit Retreat Center. And I expect a very small group. But hey, if y'all come, maybe it'll be bigger. And we, of course, will start with the passions. Friday evening, we're just going to get to know each other and do some team building and get to know you exercises. And we start at 6 p.m. on Friday. You have time to leave work and get to us. If you live in Minnesota, you can get there by that time, but fly in from wherever, that's okay. And then on Saturday morning, we'll start with passion touch work. And my focus this year is on helping people design their 2017. For this particular event, we're helping to design your 2017. You can focus on your personal life. You can focus on designing your business. I'm going to use the tools of the Passion Test for Business in helping us create our plan for the next year, 2017. So it will be all me, all presentations around that concept. So you'll get a lot of spark that weekend for your year of 2017. So come join us and spark your 2017 with a grand plan of what you want to create, and we will help you manifest just that. Thanks for joining me on this Motivational Monday and learning more of all the great tips we got from the Renew Women's Retreat. And if you want more information about December, please personally message me and I'll send you a link. Or you can visit my website, luannb.com. And under the events calendar, it's the only event listed right now because I'm still working on my 2017 grand plan. And we'll all have it built together. Thanks, and have a beautiful evening. Fabulous week. Thinking the positive. And I'll see you next Monday for some more inspirational messages.